It's Judgy B+tch. It's Judgy B+tch. It's Judgy B+tch TV.
Hi everybody, welcome back. JB TV episode 4. Today we're going to talk about 5 legal rights. 5 legal rights that women have and men don't. And I'm still watching this he versus she hashtag with this claim for supporting the equal rights of women. Now, a lot of feminists will trot out third world women as evidence for women not having equal rights. When it comes to the United States of America, not only do women have equal rights, they have more rights than men. And if you can think of a single right that men have and women don't, please drop it in my comments. I would be really interested. Now, I'm not going to be reading today. This article was originally published at Thought Catalog, and I'm not sure if I'm allowed to reproduce things that I've published over there word for word. So I'm just going to talk my way through these 5 rights that women have and men don't. Number 1, the biggest one, total game changer if we had true equality. Women have the right to choose parenthood, and men do not. When a woman is confronted with a pregnancy that she didn't intend and she doesn't want, she wants no responsibility for this pregnancy, she has at least 4 options. She can take an emergency contraceptive like Plan B. This prevents the pregnancy from implanting. So, it's an emergency contraceptive. You take it after you've had a birth control failure to prevent a pregnancy from happening. Men have no options like that. She can abort that pregnancy. That was the big game changer. Roe versus Wade. No matter what you feel about that decision, if you think it was a good one or a bad one, the fact remains that women can legally choose to opt out of pregnancy and motherhood by aborting that child. Once a live child is produced, a woman still has 2 more options. She can surrender that infant under safe haven laws. You take the baby to a hospital, a fire station, some approved location, and you surrender that baby and walk away. That's it. You are off the hook for all financial, legal, moral, ethical responsibility for that child. Her last option, of course, is to simply not identify the father on the birth certificate, which she's legally entitled to do, and surrender the baby for adoption through normal channels. Now, those are high-risk adoptions. The father could, theoretically, come back and assert his rights, but that happens very infrequently, and even when it does happen, the fathers are generally not successful. So a woman who has a baby she doesn't want to take care of, she's not interested in spending the next 18, 25 years of her life paying for this child, she can surrender it, walk away. Men cannot. Now, think about what a game changer it would be if men had the exact same reproductive rights as women. Obviously, they can't get pregnant. They have nothing to say about abortion. But imagine the cultural landscape if it were possible, if it were legal for men to say, no, thank you. This isn't what I intend right now, and I'm not interested in paying for a child for the next 18 to 25 years. The presumption should be no. No, a man does not consent to parenthood, just as it is for women. When you have sex with a woman, you cannot assume that she's just consented to parenthood. Nonsense. But legally, you can do that to a man. That is such a huge, huge legal right that men need. The sooner, the better. Emma, if you're really interested in equality for men and women, you will support a man's legal right to choose parenthood. And quite frankly, I'm not going to hold my breath on that one. Here's another big right that women have and men don't. They have the right to be protected from genital mutilation while infants. I mean, I know that FGM happens. Of course it does, but we quite rightly see it as barbaric. We see it as a crime. It is a crime, but it's perfectly legal to cut the healthy, normal genitals of an infant without his consent. How could an infant consent? I mean, they can't, but it's perfectly legal to do that. Now, the standard argument is, oh, but FGM is so much worse. That may be true, but the argument that it's only a little bit brutal doesn't really compel me. a little bit brutal. That's like saying it's okay to cut off baby boys' toes because cutting off the whole foot would be so much worse. Women have the right, no matter what their parents' religious beliefs, no matter what their traditions. You cannot take a knife to the healthy genitals, to any female genitals in the United States at all. But it is still legal to do that to infant boys. Legal. Women are legally protected from mutilation. Men are not. Here's another one. Women have the right to access federal and state programs and to vote in elections without agreeing to die. Men do not have that right. When a man in the United States turns 18, he is required to sign a selective service card. It's the draft. He cannot vote. He cannot access scholarship programs. He cannot access certain social programs. He can't get a driver's license. He can't do any of these things if he refuses to sign that draft card. And if he does refuse, he can be convicted of a felony offense, which carries a penalty of disenfranchisement. All a woman has to do to access social programs to which she is entitled and to vote in elections is simply survive 18 years. Boom, it's done. Men have to agree to be disposed of in a war. Women get to vote, of course, for the people who are going to send those men to war. But they don't have to agree to die. Now, perhaps the draft is never